Asian market that just opened up near my house, and it's a big deal for me because I've been anticipating this market opening for months now, and when I saw that it had its grand opening, I was so stoked because I know that it was going to have all these different exotic fruits and vegetables and Asian noodles and different sauces that you just can't get at a regular grocery store. Well, not at the one that I go to anyway. And so I picked a couple of things up, and first, what I was really looking forward to, I think the most, are these lychees. They are really tough on the outside, and they kind of look like an acorn, right? And the first time I ever had a lychee was in Chinatown, and I was so blown away because it didn't taste the way that I thought it was going to taste. I think they kind of taste like a mix between grape and a pear, and they make a cool sound when you rub them together too. The lychee tree grows to about 40 to 50 feet, and in the springtime it has all these spiky white flowers all over it, and then the flowers turn into these little pods. I would love to see a big lychee or orchard, but I think I would need to go to a more tropical area. I'm not sure, but let me show you how. Oh, to open one, it's pretty heavy. So you just peel back the hard skin, and you can't eat the skin. I don't think you'd want to. So you peel it back, and on the inside they call it the flesh of the lychee. It kind of looks like a little onion, right? How it's like shiny. Looks cool up to the light. Wow. So this is the lychee. They also sell leche martini once when my friend was visiting. We went to this bar in the Lower East Side where at happy hour they have $5 leche martinis, and it was so good. I think it might be my favorite martini. That, and I like French vanilla martinis too. It's a tough toss-up, but since the leches taste so much like a pear, I think the leche martinis would taste really good with pear vodka instead of plain vodka. So if I make it at home, that's what I would put in it, because it's just made with vodka, leche juice, and a splash of vermouth, and then you garnish it with a leche. But the seed needs to be taken out first so that you could just bite into it really easy at the end, because after it sits at the bottom of your martini glass, then it absorbs the vodka and it's like a little vodka soaked leche. It's really, really good. So it's so good. I'm so happy. These are so hard to find. Okay, I'm just gonna put that to the side. And I also have these cherries, which are not an exotic or hard to find fruit, but they had a really good sale, and cherries are just so good for you. They have all sorts of antioxidants, and they have melatonin in them. So if you ever have trouble sleeping, you can eat a cup of cherries and they will help you sleep. They also have pain relieving qualities too, which is good for people that have arthritis or any kind of inflammatory problem. And I think it's like 2 tablespoons of cherry juice is equal to the darker the cherry, then the more antioxidants it has in it too. They are Bing cherries, which actually got their name from the Chinese immigrant that brought them to America in the early 1900s. His name was Bing, and they named the cherry after him. So good. Really awesome. They're so fresh. I can eat so many cherries. Okay. Another thing that I really love, but they also can be found at regular health food stores. So these are like kind of exotic, but not too hard to find. Not like lychees. These are Goji Berries. I just discovered Goji Berries this year. They are really good to put into cereal. That's usually how I eat them. Or they are so tasty that you could just eat them just as a snack, just plain. I was really surprised with how they tasted, because like they look like little like raisins kind of, but they taste like little fruit snacks. They're amazing. These goji berries are dried. I've never seen a non-dried goji berry. That would be something I would be very interested to try. But you can put it in water and let it soak for a while, and it makes goji water. I haven't tried that yet, but that sounds really good. They are actually the #1 vitamin and mineral enriched food, like condensed, like for how small they are, in the whole planet. Like they pack so much in this tiny little berry compared to any other food. So they are one of the superfoods, and they're just so good. You can take them like on road trips, add them to like a trail mix, and they give you like a boost of energy because they have all sorts of little superpowers in them. So awesome. And well, I also have this gigantic watermelon. It's, oh my goodness, pretty heavy. And they are, I learned, 12,000 different variations of watermelon. It's like just 12,000. No, 1,200. I said 12,000. I meant 1,200. Which is still really a lot. I think I saw some at the market today, but I didn't know what they were. They were, like, very, like, oblong looking. It looked like a watermelon, but it was, like, very oval. And then some were yellow, and some were orange. I think I'm going to try some of them next time, because I've only had either a big watermelon or a small watermelon. I didn't know that there was so many different kinds. And I pulled out of storage this drawing I made when I was about 17, I think, 16 or 17. It was a art class project. I don't think there was an assignment involved, just to use this piece of paper, and it's like really good, thick paper. And it was drawn with a inkwell and a quill, which was a little challenging, and I don't know what inspired this scene. I guess it's that I always had like a fascination with sharks, as well as like a huge intimidation of them. But I always loved watching Shark Week and reading books on different kinds of sharks. And I always thought that the little guys that ride on top of the sharks were really cute. they kind of have an agreement with the shark that they will keep them clean if they are allowed to eat some of the leftovers that the shark has. So I always thought those little guys were neat. And I guess I made watermelons on the bottom of the ocean. And then a shark took a bite out of one of the watermelons in a way to kind of make the shark more or less intimidating, to imagine that he just eats watermelons like he's a vegetarian shark. I think that's what it is, and also how watermelons grow on hills, and at the bottom of the ocean there's little hills. Yeah. It was fun, but I don't remember the whole story to it. I can only assume. So, that, actually, I'm going to put this on the floor. And I didn't get this at the grocery store today, but I thought it kind of went with the theme of this. This is my avocado tree planter. I sprouted 2 avocado seeds. You can see. They look like Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors. And that's what happens when the seed germinates. It like cracks open and the stem starts to come out like a little tongue. And on here I have to be very careful because there's a little leaf bug that has been camping out on it for like a week. He's so good at hiding that I keep thinking that he's gone, but then I get really scared because he appears out of nowhere while I'm touching the plant, and he looks just, you can't, if I showed you, you wouldn't even know where he is because he looks exactly like the leaf. He's right there. On it, he's the same exact color. His name is, I gotta be careful not to touch him. His name is Archimedes, and he's really cool. So I let him stay in the house. I went about sprouting these avocado seeds like kind of like the unorthodox way. I just put them in the dirt after soaking them just for like a couple hours. What you're supposed to do is stick the seeds with toothpicks and just submerge the seed, like just so the very bottom of it is touching water, and wait until it cracks open. But I figured that in the wild, an avocado seed wouldn't grow like that it would just make its way to the dirt and just do its thing. So I just took a chance, and it took like 3 months, but once it sprouted, it just sprung up. And I still have to figure out how to prune it so that it stays small. I'm not good at pruning trees, really. Oh, I still have to figure out how to do it so that I don't hurt the tree. And I guess it's kind of like a bonsai, but it takes I think like 7 years before an avocado tree sprouts an avocado. So I'm just doing it just to have a pretty tree, mini tree. I'm not trying to grow any avocados from it. And I think I'm going to cut open this watermelon for you. Ooh, it's so heavy. I cut one open the other day, and I made one tiny incision, and it was like an earthquake. The whole watermelon just like snapped open. It was like a big dinosaur egg. Just, I was not expecting it to like pop like that. So I hope that this one has the same effect when I cut it open. And if it's too loud of a pop, then I might need to edit it out. This reminds me of that movie Return to Oz, where she gets a jack-o'-lantern and she brushes the pumpkin with a comb. If you've never seen the movie Return to Oz, I highly recommend it because it's just so imaginative, and it's a movie that was made for little kids. Disney made it. It was in the late 80s that they made it, and it was made for families. It was in the family category of movies, but it's so intense and kind of disturbing at some points that they changed it to be a horror movie a couple years ago. The villain in it is Princess Mombi. And the only time I've ever seen this actress was in the movie Willow, where she's the sorceress. So, those two roles are so scary and so cool because it's the same woman. And Dorothy in the movie is played by Bruce Bulk. She was like 8 or 10 years old in it. And it's just such a sick movie. I always thought that when it came out that it was a story that Disney made to embellish on what happened after The Wizard of Oz, the first movie. So I was always really confused to why Disney just made this outrageous sequel to it. But a couple of years ago, I found on my Kindle on my phone that the Wizard of Oz series, the books, are 15 different books. And the Wizard of Oz movie, the first one, with Judy Garland, is based on the first 2 books. And Return to Oz with Fairuza Balk was based on the 3rd book in the series. And so that explains why it was just so different than what you would expect the Wizard of Oz sequel to be, because it's like based on this whole odyssey of this huge country of Oz, that there's all different towns with these incredible and bizarre characters in it. And in the beginning of the book, there's this map that shows the whole layout, and it's just so complex. It's kind of like the show Adventure Time, when he travels to different towns and there's like the candy people and just random wizards running around and all crazy little characters. I think that Adventure Time was inspired by the Wizard of Oz series, and I got really excited when I heard they were making a new Wizard of Oz movie, but then I got really disappointed when I found out that it wasn't based on any of the books. So I actually haven't watched it because I'm afraid that I'll be disappointed, but I'll probably like it. It'll probably be good. I just didn't understand why they didn't use any of the books, because they were so good with such good characters, and it's just awesome. I recommend reading the books. I read all of the books other than the first 3 because I can't read a book if I've already seen it in a movie form, because I'll just lose my attention and start thinking about the movie instead. And yeah, but the other ones are really awesome. Maybe one day they'll make a movie of the other books. So I will slice this watermelon open. That's probably too loud. Also in the land of Oz, everything grows from plants. They grow cupcakes on trees, and they grow shoes on trees, clocks. They even grow people on trees in one book. It sounds creepy, but the way he writes it, it's kind of beautiful. Like they're waiting for the new queen to finish growing on this big vine, and just really fun to think about. I think, if not my favorite, but one of my favorite characters in the book is Polychrome. She was this fairy that was the daughter of the rainbow, and when the rainbow came down and touched the earth, she danced her way down the rainbow and just started frolicking, and she's only in the book for like a little bit, and while she's visiting Earth, she just is constantly dancing and twirling, and she has this rainbow dress which is like prismatic and a rainbow aura, and when she dances she like moves in slow motion and all these rainbow colors swirl around her, and she's just always frolicking and spinning, and she never gets scared or upset even when they're in trouble. She always just laughs at everything because she knows that if things get too serious, that she could always just fly back up into the sky. So she was a really beautiful image, and that's why I really want it to be a movie, but maybe someday. Okay, so not the best watermelon cutter, and it's also the angle that I'm using too. But I don't really have a good technique yet. So. It's so refreshing and juicy. I love the color that watermelon is because red and green are complementary colors to each other on the color wheel. So it's just a gorgeous fruit. This is a really good watermelon. Watermelons are really filled with potassium, and they also have a lot of electrolytes in them, so they're good for hydration and for energy too. And they have B vitamins also in them, so it's just huge. Just pod of awesome. And I have this dragon fruit. Let me move this over here. This is pretty cool. I don't know too much about dragon fruit, but they have a really cool name. And I don't know how they grow. If they grow like on a tree or on like a stalk. It kind of looks like an artichoke. I just found out that artichokes are actually part of the thistle family, that they bloom into these big, beautiful purple flowers. I never knew that. I ate them like my whole life when I was little. I never knew that they turn into these big, beautiful flowers that some people even use like for wedding bouquets or flower arrangements. But this has this little stem there. I am not sure how they grow. It has a really tough skin. A really, really pretty pink color. Okay, let's cut it open. kiwi? I'm not sure how to eat it, I guess. This is weird looking. I'm not sure what it tastes similar to. It kind of tastes like a kiwi, I think. It kind of has a sweet aftertaste. It's very like a mild fruit. That's cool. I've always wanted to try one of those. I think that's it for my fruit sharing today. I kind of always had a fascination with how fruit and vegetables grow. I just think it's really interesting to see how they are in their original form, like a cashew actually grows in this little like apple kind of. It's like I think it's called a tamarind. I'm not sure if that's right, but yeah, these little cashews just all grow together. It's like a seed inside this apple. So I've always been like investigating how everything grows naturally. And if you are interested in fruit and how it originated and like the history of it, how it came to your grocery store, I would recommend watching the movie Fruit Hunters. It's on Netflix and it's a really well produced documentary